welcome everybody to the DFS Money Shot. I am your host, Scott Simpson. So excited to be here once again, back for DFS. I love DFS. It's like my favorite thing ever in the world. And I have a friend who also is a fan of DFS, loves DFS. My friend, Mr. Anthony Servino, the real NFL guru on Twitter. Welcome, sir. How you doing, brother?
What's going on, Scott?
I'm so excited to talk fantasy football with you, to talk DFS with you, to talk, week 4 with you. It's going to be a great time. We did this last year. We're rerunning it back. Last year we went head to head. We also had our friend Michael Hoff go head to head. He came in second week, just third week, just how we did this week, third week and fourth week. So just like we had last year, and then after we did a double up. So here's the question. Michael said he's open for the triple face-off next week. Is that something that you're available, or is that maybe the next week we have to do that?
We'll figure it out, but I'll definitely be back for the threesome, if you want to call it that.
Yeah. So here's my record. I'll give the record against you and everybody else, so everyone kind of knows. I'm 1-1 against Anthony. He beat me in the head-to-head last year. Gave me the beat down, and so I'm trying to come back, get a little revenge, get my revenge against Anthony. But I did take the triple header, the threesome that we did. And so that was a little bit bigger of a prize. So he's got some chops to get back at me. We're doing it for $50, which I'm super excited about. It's the highest that people go. No one's gone 100 yet. It's a little steep. I get it in this economy. You know what I mean? Hashtag Denny Carter. But this is going to be a lot of fun. And I got to say, so here's the thing. I am not a buff guy. You're hiding a lot. You're being very, demure. You're very buff. I see you all the time working out. Fantasy Fit Club. I'm just going to wear the shirt today in honor of you, but I'm not fit. Like these hide, man boobs. They don't hide the tight pecs and the delts and stuff.
Pectorals, yeah.
Oh man, you look great, bro. I love your workout. I just need to get off my ass and go on the treadmill. So you're an inspiration. I wanted to give you that, shout out when I see you. I'm like, man, if Anthony can do it, I can do it too. I haven't gotten there yet, but keep doing you, man, and keep just being that, buff guy. It just gives me my high tea I need to kind of get by. You know what I mean?
My issue is the diet. If my diet was on point, I like food way too much. And if I didn't train the way I did, I don't know. Because I was like the fat kid growing up.
Yeah, well, I am the fat kid.
That's my motivation. You get picked on when you're a kid, and that kind of sticks with you.
It totally does. And this isn't kind of where the show was. We planned it this way, but I turned that into humor. Joking, being silly, not taking myself too seriously, kind of, having thin skin underneath that thick skin, but there's still thin skin underneath it all. And so we all process it our own ways. I was 330 pounds at one point. So for me, being 225 pounds, I feel better about myself now. I still need to get in better shape. It's not, my brother is 6'7". And my other brother's like 6 foot. So I thought I was going to be tall too. And my mom's like, you're going to grow. Don't worry. You're not going to be chubby forever. You're going to grow. No, I didn't grow. I'm 5'9". I never grew. I just stayed chubby. So, I got to get a little less chubby, but you're an inspiration. I want to say that right now.
Thank you.
And I'm trying to also be inspired to beat you this week, like you beat me last year. So, that's how it works. You beat somebody once, they really want to win. So we're going to jump in here. I do want to say before I do, I'm going to share my screen real quick and we're going to jump in, but I have to plug your Twitter and I'm going to pull it up here as well. So let me see if I can manage and do a little producing here. It's always fun producing your own show when you're the solo guy. I'm working on it.
I know how it is.
You work hard, you grind. I see it all the time on your show. I'm retweeting and you're retweeting we're like retweet buddies. We retweet all this stuff all the time. And so I love it. I love seeing, your show and, you have Anthony, other friends on there as well, or Michael on there as well. So I love it. And please do check it out. So Anthony Servino over there at, I'll let you plug yourself. I mean, I'll plug you, but plug yourself, please.
I'm at the Real NFL Guru on Twitter. I do a lot of fantasy and betting content over at the Game Day NFL, and obviously my own content at fffaceoff.com. The website's only a few months old. We have a lot of terrific writers, putting out content there. Guys who've been in the industry, new guys to the industry. We have a nice revolving co-host chair right now at the FF Faceoff. So a lot of new great things going on at the website.
I love it. I'm adding it to my premium tools section where I keep all my.
You can see right here, we're giving away a Terry McLaurin jersey.
I mean, that's awesome. I'm not a fan of the Washington football team, but I'm a fan of Terry McLaurin. I would love that. I only say that because this is my market here in Washington, D.C. I'm from the D.C. area. Ex fan Dan Snyder. I got Dan Snyder. So, you know what I mean? Like, it happens. What's your fandom, by the way? What are you?
I'm a Cowboys fan.
Cowboys fan. Okay, so you're in Bo big time. You guys are Cowboys. See, I growing up as a Redskins fan, then I've never been a Washington football team fan, so I've only been a then Redskins. Not calling them that now. Just want to be very clear. That as a fan growing up, I loved playing against Dallas and beating them, but they beat us way more in my lifetime than the Washington football team now has beaten Dallas. So it was always a beatdown city, especially with Troy Aikman and Emmitt Smith and Michael. You guys were just electric. Even the year we won the Super Bowl, you guys beat us. I think we won like one game. It was against us, you know. So
great rivalry. My dad lives in Glen Elg, Maryland. Yeah, so he's I've been to Maryland a lot, and I've always had a heart for the Ravens. The Shannon Sharp, Ray Lewis, Ed Reed Ravens.
Oh yeah. No, I'm a fan there too. As my screen shrinks away, let's get back to the actual money shot here. So here's what we're gonna do. If you haven't been to the money shot, this is how the money shot works. Anthony and I have our lineups in, and we're going to go kind of position by position, reveal them, talk about who we like, why we like them, what we think they're going to do. And then as we kind of progress, we'll see kind of who has the stronger team. And then at the end, we'll kind of set a total. And sometimes Bo Big Time will get in here and tweet it out and let us know who he thinks the favorite is. He always goes for the guest, Anthony, just, so you are in safe hands with Bo. He's going to crap on my teams. Even though I have beaten him twice in a row. I just want to put that out there for the record, just so everybody, out there. Yeah. So Bo's might be a little feisty against me here, but anyway, let's jump in. I'm gonna let you share your quarterback first. Talk about why you have Jalen Hurts in your quarterback position.
Jalen Hurts has been absolute money in fantasy. As an NFL quarterback, I think the jury is still out. I don't know if it's all Jalen Hurts' fault, but that's another story. This is a DFS show, and Jalen Hurts in the 25.5 fantasy points last week at DraftKings going against the Cowboys in a game Dallas dominated. I don't know where he got 25.5 points, but he somehow pulled it out. Jalen Hurts this season so far, 25.5, 21.8, 28-7. He has the rushing floor, and he's also proving that in garbage time, he's also going to throw the hell out of the football. So you're getting the Kansas City Chiefs at home. This is a game where Jalen Hurts, I believe, could finish as a top 5 fantasy quarterback. Kansas City's defense is atrocious. I believe that their defense is not helping their offense out whatsoever. Probably this is the worst defense I've seen in the Patrick Mahomes era. So I'm in on Jalen Hurts. I think he goes big at home.
Yeah, no, I like that call. I think he does bounce back. And at 6,900, that's not a bad price at all. I was considering, by the way, I went Russell Wilson. I was considering going even underneath you, undercutting you. I didn't know what your team was, but going a little lower and going Aaron Rodgers. I have Aaron Rodgers in another matchup, but I did decide to go Russell Wilson. And here's why I'm going to go Russell Wilson. This matchup, Russ has to cook. If they drop to 1-3, it's not good for them, and especially in this division where teams are going to be 4-0. It might just be curtains. That's a huge amount of games to make up. And so I think this is where we kind of see the best of Russ. And I think he's going to get it done. I think he's going to have to put the ball, in the air. I know they're going to rush the ball a little bit, but, he does like to connect with Chris Carson in the passing game as well. So I went with Russ. He's steady. He's averaged, around 23, but he's gotten 27, 26. So I'm looking for that steady floor for Russ. I knew you'd have one down game. But I do like your Jalen Hurts. I like Jalen Hurts in GPP plays as well. I just want to say that too. He's got that dual kind of usage, I think, this week. Whereas Russ, I mean, not that you got to play him in GPPs, but I think Hurts is more of a GPP play as well. So I like it. All right, let's jump to running back here and see what we're gonna find. Let's go down. Nyheim Hines and Derrick Henry, different backs for sure. Let's lead off with Derrick Henry. So far, he's the most expensive back on the slate. 8,800. It's a lot of money, but he's averaging 28 points per game. So that's kind of the you're accepting there. You're accepting that price because he's going to get you at least 25 points. You hope. Nyheim Hines, on the other hand, has huge upside in the PPR aspect of the game where he gets most of his work done. Talk about Hines here and his price and why you included him.
I'm in on Nyheim Hines this week. Now, we know Jonathan Taylor's a little bit banged up, but this is more about what Nyheim Hines' role is on the Colts. We know that Carson Wentz, he might not make it out of the next few games, and there's going to be a lot of check down opportunities. Indianapolis's pass catchers, they're not great. Nyheim Hines, that is his role on the team. And they defined his role. Even though Jonathan Taylor can do everything, they made Nyheim Hines, I believe, the highest paid non-starting running back in the league a few weeks ago. And Hines brings a solid floor. And I love his $4,900 price point. He had one bad game against the Rams, who really don't give up a ton against a running back. But in his other two, 14.2 in week 1, 18.9 last week against Tennessee. And Miami gives up a ton of production to the running back position, especially to pass catching running backs. I believe I saw a stat that Miami is one of a few teams who've given up 20 receptions so far to running backs.
Oh, that's not good for me. That's really good for you, though. Just a nice floor there. If he quad maxes and gets you 20, it kind of puts a dent in my price there because you've ripped him off for 4,900. I like that. And then also, I was listening to Graham Barfield and my guy Scott Barrett on the Fantasy Points podcast, and they're talking about how after week 1 they've gone away from JT as getting targets. So it's not what you want it to be. I think if you're going for JT and targets and that PPR upside that we thought he was going to get, like you said, Nyheim Hines has the roll down. That's what he does. He's the guy. So a nice little sneaky play. Let's go to the next running back here. Oh gosh, you got a good one here. Talk about this guy. Not many people have heard of him. I'm guessing his name is Alvin Kamara. I don't know. He looks good though.
Yeah, Alvin Kamara gets a nice matchup against the New York Giants. And the Giants haven't played well. They just lost Blake Martinez. I believe he's done for the year. So that's a big hole in the middle of their defense. One of the top tackling linebackers in the NFL. I think Alvin Kamara is going to exploit that once he gets to the second level. There's nothing else on the Saints. It's Alvin Kamara or bust. This whole Marquez Callaway hype. I know he had 40 yards and a touchdown last week. They don't have anything but Alvin Kamara on that offense, and he's going to continue to be the focal point. His one down game was at Carolina, and Carolina is proving to be one of the upstart defenses in the NFL. He lit up New England, which was a shock to me. I was down on Kamara last week. Smokes New England, smokes Green Bay in week 1, and now the New York Giants. I believe this game is in New Orleans, and Alvin Kamara plays really well at home. I would like to see him be a little bit more involved in the passing game than he is. 2 games with 4 targets, 1 game with 6. I don't know if this might be the year where Alvin Kamara doesn't hit his 80 or 81 reception threshold, but he's still a top end fantasy running back.
Yeah, no, I agree. And I think you're seeing, him down in targets, but he's getting more carries. And so if he can take some of those carries and against the Giants, do a little something with them, score a couple touchdowns, possibly. You've got a nice boom candidate there. On the other side, I went with Trey Sermon. This is the way I'm thinking. And I know that it was a Derrick Henry season against them, and that was primarily what it was. But they still rank 32nd in the league. They've given up 37 points per game to running backs. It's not what they do super well. And I think Alexander Madison lit him up as well. So I'm going to play a $5,000 running back who looks like he's going to be the starter. And I see him getting maybe 60% of the snaps in this matchup. So if he gets a touchdown, or if he can kind of, maybe get, 15 to 16 points. I just want that price value. And so that's kind of where I'm thinking about there. What do you think about Sermon this week? You fading him, playing him? The 49ers are a run-heavy offense. There is upside. It's more of a GPP play, but I wanted to keep up with you because I knew you were going to bring fire.
I do have some Trey Sermon exposure both in DFS and in redraft. I'm high on Sermon. But his usage was not what I was expecting last week when he should have been the guy. They used a lot of Kyle Juszczyk. Now they're talking about Elijah Mitchell potentially playing with pain tolerance. This should be a Trey Sermon game. If we're going to have one, it has to be this one. But against you, I went with Nyheim Hines because I wanted a little bit of a higher floor. But I love Trey Sermon this week, and I do have him in quite a few lineups.
Excellent. We'll see how this pans out, but I think you've got a little bit of an edge here. I'm not going to lie. Going into the wide receivers, I feel a little bit verklempt. But let's continue on here, and I'm going to roll out your first wide receiver, Brandon Ayuk. Talk about Ayuk coming back and being involved in the offense. I know his points per game are kind of down relatively. What's crazy about DraftKings, I don't like this. They average in games you don't play. It drives me crazy. This is something that they do, and also they update their pictures. They have if we have any rookies, they won't have their picture. And if a guy was on a team last year, they'll have traded him and not change the picture. If someone moved teams, it's not great, So
Yeah, Brandon Ayuk, his price point, and he was expected to be the number one wide receiver on this 49ers team. And obviously, whatever the hell happened in the offseason leading into week one, and then it spills over to week two, doesn't really get anything going. And last week against Green Bay, we are starting to see the usage and the opportunities trend upwards. Last week, 86.2% snap share, 39 routes, 6 targets, including 3 in the red zone, and then 4 receptions, 37 yards, and that 1 touchdown. And now he gets a great matchup. I love it going against the Seattle Seahawks. This should be a high-scoring game. And if they go off of how they used him last week, I could be getting a potential, I'm not going to say he's going to finish as a wide receiver 1, but certainly a wide receiver 2 finish for 5,000. And that you can't beat that.
Yeah, no, it's pretty ridiculous. So I'm going to say on the other side, I've got my guy, Odell Beckham, and I'm not a huge Odell Beckham fan necessarily. I mean, that's just kind of how it rolls out. But last week we saw he had 9 targets, 5 receptions. There's a lot of upside here for him in this matchup. I think that the total for them is 51.5. They're going to have to throw the football. They're going to have to be able to get the ball out to somebody on that side. And 5,800 to me, it's a nice value. I'm looking for that 22-point, matchup. Hopefully I can get that. We'll see. It's kind of wishful thinking possibly, but, with Odell Beckham's ability to kind of move after the catch, it is something that, I'm hopeful for. What do you think about Odell Beckham Jr.? You in, you out?
I'm kind of out on OBJ, and he was in that situation last week. I thought he would have had a better game. He could pop this week against Minnesota. One of the higher totals on the week. Minnesota, I believe, is giving up the 3rd most fantasy points to wide receivers. So this should be an Odell Beckham Jr. game. I just don't trust him, and I don't think I have him in any lineups this week.
Ooh, we'll see how this goes. I'm excited. I never play him either. I thought it'd be a fun curveball. We'll see what it works out like. All right, let's go down. Our next wide receiver, Corey Davis. I've got DK Metcalf, the stack attack with Russell Wilson. That's one reason why I had Russ in here. I think he's going to cook with my guy DK. Talk about Corey Davis, what you see in this matchup against a pretty awful Tennessee secondary. I think you and I could suit up for them possibly.
Yeah, Tennessee, their secondary giving up the 2nd most fantasy points to wide receivers, and their defense was bad last year, and they didn't do a lot to improve it going into 2021, and they're already showing us that they are going to be a bad defense again. And the New York Jets have not looked good, but in the right matchup, Zach Wilson should play well, 2nd overall pick. And this is the matchup for Zach Wilson to possibly have his best game of his young career. This is a revenge game for Corey Davis. And Corey Davis, he struggled against New England, just like, and obviously Zach Wilson did too, like most rookie quarterbacks. Had his best game of week 1 against Carolina, which is a little bit surprising. Only 9.1 last week, covered by Kyle Fuller a lot of the time in Denver. That's the no-fly zone 2.0. So to me, Corey Davis is that wide receiver who's going to give you a big week in the right matchup. This matchup against Tennessee is all there. In fact, I actually like the Jets to win this game tomorrow. Wow. I picked them to win this game outright. Wow. Obviously, I took the spread too on that, but there's no A.J. Brown. There's no Julio Jones. And I think a lot of people are going to think this is just a smash play for Tennessee. But like the Jets, look what they did to the Rams. They snuck up on the Rams at the end of the year last year, pulled that game out. This is a more talented Jets team. There's no more Adam Gase. So, yeah, I kind of like the Jets to win it. Nobody's going to expect it, but I think they pull it out. If there's any game, it's this one.
I'm watching for that tomorrow now. Now I'm intrigued in this matchup.
They might get smoked, obviously. They're still the Jets, but if there's any game, it's this.
I like it. You're calling your shot. I think it's a good shot. On the other side, I've got DK Metcalf. Last year he went off against them. I think after that they moved
and
around.
It's a home game.
It's a home game. Yeah, it's true. It's, for New York. I did tweet. I did not tweet. I did write in my nimblewnumbers.com column for DFS. I did say that Derrick Henry was going to play 1 versus 11 against the Jets tomorrow. So I did. I was maybe rubbing in a little bit, but I do think this is a closer game than what is the spread, by the way? Is it like 6.5 or something?
6.5.
6.5. Okay. All right. That was off the top of my head. I did an exercise earlier in the week, Anthony, where I just put all the games down on a sticky note and I wrote down what I thought the spread was for each one in my mind, what I would make the spread. And then I went and checked and I added them all up. Out of 16 games, I was only 19 points off of all of them. So that's pretty good. Yeah. I'm in the ballpark. So that was kind of what I thought the game should be. I could see them. I see the Jets winning for sure, maybe pulling off a late field goal, but I also see Derrick Henry eating as well. Because he's also going to eat, and they get him involved in the passing game, which is great. He's got more pass receptions than Alvin Kamara does so far, which is wild.
Strange.
Yeah, really strange. And then DK, by the way, that guy can eat. He is somebody who Russell Wilson will be leaning on heavily. I'm not sure if Lockett's a go or not, or if he's gonna. I don't know. They got like 4 wide receivers they dress 2 each week, so and there's only 1 tight end ready to go. That's we'll talk about that later. So it's going to be interesting in this situation. I'm going to lean DK over Corey Davis, but Corey Davis had 2 touchdowns first game. So the next guy, holy moly, holy shoot. You can't argue with him. He is the number 1 wide receiver in the league. Cooper Kupp. Talk about Cooper Kupp. What have you noticed in him so far?
I mean, Cooper Kupp, what can you say about him? He is the best wide receiver, or playing like the best wide receiver in the NFL. And Cooper Kupp, to be fair, was a terrific play with Jared Goff. Obviously, he had a couple of injury years mixed in, and he had to follow up off those injury years. But I think we are now seeing the true capability of Cooper Kupp with Matthew Stafford. Is it surprising me that they're going over the top a little bit more with Cooper Kupp? Yes, but I absolutely love it, especially as a fantasy football manager. Cooper Kupp's put up his worst game, week 1, 26.8 points, back-to-back games over 30. And this is an Arizona defense. I'm in on the Cardinals. I actually picked the Cardinals in the preseason to win the division. I don't know how this game's going to turn out. I actually like the Rams to win it, but their secondary is a mess. That's the one handicap on Arizona's defense. Their front seven's outstanding, but their secondary was already bad, losing Patrick Peterson, and then right before the season, Malcolm Butler, whatever personal issues, he ended up on the reserve retired list, and he was like their best corner, which is really ugly. So Cooper Kupp should absolutely smash tomorrow.
Yeah, no, I like that play a lot. I went with the other side of that Jets game, and that is with Westbrook Akina, 3,200, almost been priced. Last week he got 14 points, which is, that was an upside game. But this week there's nobody else to throw the football to. There's no one on the whole team, and so
what happened to Josh Reynolds?
I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. What happened to him? They didn't throw the football to him. Yeah. And then what happened to Fursker? You know what I mean? Like, even with these guys out, you think, things are not just what we see or what we think they're going to be to start the season. But this is more of just a min price throw. It was him or Curtis Samuel, and I don't trust Curtis Samuel yet. I don't. Yeah. I'm not there yet. I know Bo Big Time does, but I'm still a little bit wary on that. But I love Cooper Kupp. I've been all over Cooper Kupp. I've been telling people to play Cooper Kupp for the last every week, every single week. He was 5,800 to start the season. Holy shoot! I think what?
Historically, Cooper Kupp against the Cardinals, he had 8 for 73 the last time out. Then he had 2 games where he scored. I mean, his worst stat line against Arizona is 568 without a touchdown, 451 with a touchdown.
Yeah. No,
that's his career.
That's massive. That's massive. I love that. And Cooper Cup is a great cash play this week. You're paying up for him, but I mean, in GPP, someone's going to score those touchdowns. It's going to be either him, Higbee, or Robert Woods, Bobby Trees, possibly. So Cooper Cup could get he's got 5 touchdowns so far, and it's remarkable. I'm a fan. All right, let's jump down to our tight ends. You always need a good tight end. That's just something I've learned. Let's talk about our tight ends. This is where I paid up. You have your Cooper Cup. I have my Travis Kelce. And I love Travis Kelce. I love Travis Kelce in this matchup. PFF has him at a 93% or 93 grading on this. It's the best grade all week for tight ends. I think he's going to be crushing it all day in the middle of the field against the Philadelphia Eagles. What do you think about Travis Kelce this week? Are you playing him, or is it a Tyreek week for you? How are you looking at these two?
I love Kelce this week. I actually showed you a FanDuel lineup where I have Travis Kelce in it. In this matchup, though, I actually went, and we'll see my tight end in a few minutes. I went with a cheaper tight end because I wanted to pay up for Alvin Kamara and obviously Cooper Cup. But nothing wrong with Travis Kelce. He's going against Philadelphia. Yeah, Philadelphia. Look what Dalton Schultz did to them on Monday Night Football.
Right. There's potential. there. And that's Dalton Schultz. That's not Travis Kelce. And doesn't have Patrick Mahomes. I mean, Dak Prescott's pretty good. So,
well,
yeah. Let's talk about. Yeah, I'll take yours. What about? Yeah, I know you're a Cowboys guy. That's why I kind of do a little shade. What about Dawson Knox for you? 3,600, not a bad price at all.
No, and Dawson Knox has been getting a little bit of play this year. 8.1 fantasy points in each game so far. But last week, obviously, his best in a good matchup against Washington. I don't know what the hell's going on with their secondary, but they're giving up a ton of passing to production to tight ends and wide receivers. Knox last week, a season high 5 targets, 49 yards, 4 receptions, and back-to-back weeks with a touchdown. And I love the matchup in Houston, and this should be a game that Buffalo is once again going to dominate. And the Houston Texans, they give up I believe the 5th most fantasy points to the tight end position. And Dawson Knox, I'm taking a risk because, there's a chance he can get 3 points, but there's also a chance he can get me 13. I'm hoping for around 10.
Yeah, no, that would be good. Let's transition here to our flexes. You have a little bit more money left than I do. You rolled it heavy bone with David Montgomery. I had only mere pittance. I had to cellar dweller Ross, down at the bottom with my guy Will Dissly. It's not great, but it is the only tight end on the team, and there is a tight end target share there for Dissly this week, just because he's in the role. So, but that with that being said, what about David Montgomery? What do you see? I'm afraid of Matt Nagy. I'm just going to say, honestly, between you and me, Matt Nagy scares me.
Yeah, I'm worried about David Montgomery, but I like the price point. I also love the matchup going against Detroit. I believe they're a top 5 team in fantasy production allowed to the running back position. And Montgomery has played well against the Detroit Lions, 4 career games. I believe he had 14 and 23 are his 2 best games against them. Obviously popped last December, the last time they faced. He went for 72 yards rushing, 2 touchdowns, and added another 39 yards receiving on 4 receptions. I'm hoping for that type of a turnout. And if Matt Nagy is smart, and that is a big time question right now, he will feed David Montgomery in this matchup and take the pressure off of the quarterback position.
Yeah, well, hopefully he does. Matt Nagy should be fired, though, if he loses to Detroit. I'm just going to say that. I'm not the first person to say it, and I've been saying it for a long time. Yeah, I mean, it might happen. I did like that Dan Orlovsky jumped on the bandwagon on Sunday and said he should be fired. Thanks, Dan. 3 years too late, bro. Just want to let you know. 2-3 years late. Anyway, let's jump down and move on us a little bit to our defenses. I love it. You went with the homegrown Dallas Cowboys. They're going to be in Dallas. You got a raucous crowd there, 1 million people, in Texas. They all have guns, I'm sure. What do you think about Dallas against Carolina? You think Carolina's kind of a fraud so far?
No, I actually, think Carolina now, I want to see what they look like without Christian McCaffrey going against a team that's not a bad football team. So this is a true test against Dallas. But Carolina looks good. Like Carolina, Denver, to me, those windows, I'm not saying those Super Bowl windows, I would say 2022, 2023. If the quarterback position, especially in Carolina, if it's Darnold, then you got to go make your run now. This defense, they spent a lot of capital at the draft the past 2 seasons. I think next year might be the year we see a big step out of Carolina. And a team like the Denver Broncos, it's not Teddy Bridgewater. I think Denver's going to be hot and heavy going for Aaron Rodgers, maybe a Matt Ryan, because he'll likely be available. They'll go bring in a veteran quarterback that can put the Denver Broncos and all those skill position players in that defense over the top. So I don't think Carolina is a fraud, but I like this Cowboys defense. It's surprising. Micah Parsons playing like he's going to run away with Defensive Rookie of the Year. This Dallas defense is playing really well without Randy Gregory, who might be back this week, and without DeMarcus Lawrence. Their 2 best edge rushers. They move Micah Parsons down. This defense looks terrific. Diggs in the secondary, 2nd-round pick last year. He's emerging as one of the true ball hawks in the NFL, and I believe Dallas leads the NFL right now in takeaways and have led in that category ever since the last quarter of last season. I don't have that in front of me, but I did hear that stat. So even if they give up some production yardage and points wise, I do think there will be some takeaway opportunities to bring a nice floor for this Dallas Cowboys defense pickup for me. But I am worried. This is the one here I'm not confident about.
Yeah, no, I'm not confident about my pick at all, and you can see why. I've got the Detroit Lions. I paid down almost as far as you can go. Here's kind of my philosophy: if you can find the dirt cheapest defense that could possibly turn somebody over a couple times, I go for it. And so last week I went with the Bengals. They were 2,100. They got 12 points. I was fire. It helped me win money. So this might not be the case. You get burned too, but I gotta get 6 points, 7 points to kind of max out and do what I need them to do in this role, really, and not just suck it up. So we'll see what's gonna happen there. Mine's a crapshoot. I'm going to say overall, I think you have like a 7-point edge on me at least. I'm going to see what Bo has to say, when he jumps in here later on the Twitters, which he always loves to do. But I do think you have a bit of an edge. And I think it's because of Cooper Kupp. I like DK Metcalf. I'm a big fan of him. I'm a big fan of Kelsey. But Cooper Kupp, Alvin Kamara, they're just they're good. They're really good. So this is close. This is close for me, but I think you got the edge. What do you think?
One pivot I almost made, and this is a player that I love not only in DFS but also in season long or in Dynasty. Zacchaeus from the Falcons. The stat is like in the past 2 seasons, any game where he gets 6 targets, all but one, he's returned double-digit PPR points. He's better than Russell Gage. And I think Zacchaeus is going to ultimately take over that number 2 receiver role in Atlanta. So I almost went Zacchaeus at 4,100 and then went up a little bit to Noah Fant at tight end.
Oh, I love Noah Fant. Yeah, he's only 11th in scoring so far, but he's 5th in target share and getting targets. So, that's what you want to see. Yeah, no, this is good. This is going to be close. I love it. Anthony, thank you for coming on. Where can people find you again? Where do you hang your hat for folks who are just jumping in right now?
Right on the screen on Twitter at The Real NFL Guru. The show's handle and the website's handles at the FF Faceoff and also fffaceoff.com, the Game Day NFL. And I'm in the ECR rankings over at Fantasy Pros.
No, that's awesome. And, your co-host, Michael Hoffa, I did give him the beat down 2 years in a row. He's 0-3. I brought you up as 1-1 at the beginning of the show because I wanted to deferentially, we're equals here in this. I beat you once, you beat me once. It's kind of the rubber match here. And but Michael, it's a different story. I love him though. So
now, do you do an end of the year thing with everybody? I big contest.
I didn't do a show, but last year I did do I'm not sure if I think I sent it to you.
Yeah, I think I was
like just a DraftKings, hey, everybody on the show. I think about 12, 13 people got in there. So I do have one this week as well, though. If you want to talk off air, I can send it to you. It's a 25-person, $5 tournament on DraftKings for the main slate, and there's about 12, 13 people in there so far. I'm going to get it filled up. We'll get all filled up, but love to have friends in there, and you're definitely a friend. So, let me know. I'll send it over.
Send it over. I'm always looking for more action.
No, I love that. That's why we're friends.
Almost to a fault.
You know what? I can't blame you, because I got hit on Sunday. I made $450, and on Thursday night I made $320. So it is what it is, and it's the chase, it's the sweat, it's what we love to do.
Mm-hmm.
It's fantasy football every day. It's part of kind of who we are. Football itself is part of who we are. And I love your fantasy face off. It says fantasy, NFL, DFS, sports betting. Like, those are 4 things I love. If you were like, what are 4 things you love all in one? I mean, you're speaking my language. So please go check them out. You can check me out, if you still want to. There's been, Anthony, I've been ignoring it. There's been just, I don't know if it's bots or just people hating in the comments in YouTube. I paused them and there's come back with more hate. It was really interesting. It was like vitriolic and like real, like out of nowhere. So like, I'm not sure where it's coming from. Yeah, it's kind of weird. I've never had that happen. I've
been getting that on my feed too. Some real I'm getting either vulgar like handles and like sexual stuff, or I'm getting these bots that are like, you want 5 million followers? Click here.
Yeah, it's really weird. Yeah, I'll share them with you later at the end of the show. I'll share you a screenshot. Weird stuff. Whatever. I don't care. I hope for those who did listen to the show, you enjoyed. I like to have my friends on. Anthony's one of my friends on Twitter. And please go follow me at Nimble W Numbers on Twitter. I rock the Fantasy Millionaires podcast on Monday nights at 9:30, whenever halftime comes. I also rock Chalk Block, which is tonight at 10 o'clock here on Twitter Live, and then also on YouTube with my guy Bo McBig Time. And then I am on the Mayo Media Network with Pat Mayo every Tuesday night, kind of Wednesday morning, whenever kind of gets out on YouTube with my guy Laquan LQ. Love him, the Real Deal Fantasy. There's just a bunch of great people who I've gotten to work with. So please do check all these people out, follow them. And then I get the opportunity to write for the Sports Gambling Podcast Network. I have a article for DraftKings, Priced Up, Priced Down, came out yesterday. Check it out over there. It'll be in their DFS section. And then I'm a tout for Run the Sims. I'm a tout for Fantasy, for Occupy Fantasy, for Underdog Fantasy, for Prize Picks. Go check all of them out. If you're on YouTube, they're all in the comments down below in the description. And please do follow and like and be nice. Be nice. We're encouraging this. Me and Anthony haven't had a bad word to say. This is a PG podcast.
Yes.
We could our families could listen to this. So always do stay nice, and please check out Anthony and all the work he's doing. And if you see Michael on Twitter, tell him we love him. And we're rooting for him, and it's okay if Scott beats him again and again and again. And he'll have his revenge, though. He will have a chance to avenge me
through me
twice. Well, yeah, through you, and then also maybe the threesome we do again, and then also the next time at the end of the year he could come back and win it all, and then make some money. So there's always redemption. There's always opportunities, and I appreciate it. And I look forward to being able to interact with you on Twitter and hang out. And, I came on your show last year. It was awesome. So hopefully we can, hook that up this year. I'd love to come on again. And, you guys are great. And I really respect the stuff that you guys do over there. The Podathon, everything you guys do. Yeah. You guys are good people. So do check Anthony out. I appreciate you guys checking us out. We'll see you next time from